So we're going to be talking about the census request at this point. What we found is, and commonly, that this request or this piece of the data we are trying to request is, I hate to use the word cumbersome, but it definitely takes what we see the most time for our clients to get back to us. But everything we do pretty much hinges on this information, as it's the most confidential data that you're having to send to us. Social security numbers, first name, last name, compensation, deferrals, hours worked, termination dates, rehire dates. So it contains a lot of information. I think one thing I'd point out very quickly, although we send you a format that we would like to receive back, you don't necessarily have to fill out our spreadsheet. We are looking for that data in an Excel or CSV format from you guys. But if you want to export that information out of your payroll software, whether that's QuickBooks, Peachtree, or any other internal system, we would love to accept that. An export's actually better. It ensures no keystroke errors. It ensures the accuracy of the data. And similarly, if you're working with a payroll provider, whether local, whether national, we are happy to work with them on your behalf as long as you've given them authorization to work with us. And so we have a lot of clients that they just say, hey, call so-and-so, and they will send us those files. And that can take a lot of time off of your plate and also get somebody that's doing that work on your behalf, getting us good data. That information is incredibly important. There's a few fields on there that I'd like to just highlight, such as the status change date. So if you've got somebody on your spreadsheet and they terminated within the year and they still have compensation, it's incredibly important that we get that status code of T for termination or their termination date, so that we can identify in that process that they're terminated. There's a couple things within your testing that hinge around that. We don't want to give them a contribution that they're not due just because we don't have a termination date. Similarly, the hours requirement, your vesting schedule, your allocation conditions, they hinge on that 1,000-hour requirement, and so we need to make sure that we're getting that appropriately. Probably one of the last pieces I'd highlight would be the compensation column. Most commonly, your definition is going to be gross compensation. And what we do, we want to always balance to a source level document, such as the W-3 or the W-2s for your plan. We have found that a lot of other providers simply take what you give them and trust you. And I'm perfectly fine with trusting you, but I'm also going to verify that we're giving you the best product. And so we're going to also balance to something that is a source level document like your W-3. It's pretty common that we will get a W-3 whose gross compensation in box 5 is actually a little bit more than what's shown on the census. And in that scenario, we get the chance to come back and ask questions to see if everybody's been listed appropriately. So we will always come back and ask for a source level document. It's been what we found that in an IRS or Department of Labor audit, they're always going to require you and us to go to a source level document. So we do that on the front end. That way your plan's audit ready right from the beginning. A couple other items, depending on your entity type, it's quite possible if you're an LLC taxed as a partnership or a sole proprietor that you don't have a W-2 for the owner of the company or the owners or the partners. And so in that scenario, we will definitely ask for copies of K-1s. It could be that we're asking for a draft K-1 or a draft Schedule C. Please just know that we are happy to work with your CPA as well to obtain these things, as long as you're willing to put us in contact with them. Our goal is to provide you with a really accurate product, but we're also here to see if there's pieces that we can make your life easier. So if it's you putting us in touch with the right person, we're more than happy to do that. We're here to help. If you've got more questions, please contact our administrator. Thank you.